9. Recording has started. Okay. Episode 1 of Mad Delicious with Cal Soto, George Spitz, and Sam Hall. Where is Jorge?
What's good? Let's get him on here. He's out in the studio, but we need to send him a link. So let me figure that out.
Oh, true. Jorge. Oh, what's up with you, dude?
What's that?
What's up with you, bro?
Man, everything is the same every single day. There's not another fucking thing that I can even think. There's like six
uh,
things you can do. Let me get
bro, I
more
just
excited.
keep,
There's literally like six things you can do, and I've done them all like hundreds of times now. It's
just
crazy.
fucking painfully over and over. You got to do that.
There we go. Copy URL.
Wait,
Text here.
I don't have George on here. I don't think.
Yeah, no. One minute. I don't know how to text from this computer. That's why. Gotta email it to myself. Now I'm dating myself. It shows I'm like looking like an old person when I use computers now.
Old man Cal.
It's happening very fast.
Bro, it's over, man. This 3 month thing is like, nah. I'm not with this extra 90 days, brother.
No, not at all. And dude, what if it's more than that?
Hey, there's no way, man. How are we gonna have the lowest curve the whole fucking time and then like do everything they want us to do the first, shutdown, lockdown time around, and then the guys just gonna be like, yeah, well, we're gonna give it another 90 days. 90 days is like, okay. And
90 days. 90 days you could get married,
yeah, bro, fucking TLC, 90 Day Fiance, dog. Fucking bringing in the old Russian mail order COVID.
Damn it. There we go. Gotta email myself so I can text George. Just wanna talk everybody through what I just did. I had to email myself from my music computer so that I could, because I don't know how to text from that computer, and the only
Why
way I
he,
could do it from the internet was
he
through.
never added us as friends on this thing though. That's why.
Yeah, it's his bad, really. He wasn't really anticipating us,
Hey man,
forming a whole relationship.
come on, George, get it together, bro.
No, me too, though.
Who is Vicky Dinicheco is in the waiting room? Is that someone you know?
Oh, that's him. Yeah, that's George's
I
music
was like, who
mama.
the fuck's Vicky?
I was like, uh oh,
We're
it's like
getting
my
Russian
first.
bombed already, dude. Georgie,
What's good, man?
can we hear Papa George?
Hey, can you hear
Nice.
me?
Yeah, we got you, bro.
Dude, I thought Cal was about to
We
die right
got you.
now. Are you okay?
No, I mean Halsey's just seen the aftermath of that, but yeah, I just like took one hit. That's it. Just a second
And
ago
he was
before I got
doing
on
this.
here.
He was like outside, like holding onto the door, and he's like,
Oh no.
and I don't know. Maybe we could talk in the podcast about it, but Cal's
We're
has
in.
a history. Oh, we're in
George is
Bro.
already.
in. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I started recording.
This is
Um,
it. This is
bro,
it.
It's a
Cal
big
Cal
start,
is
yeah.
like you ever seen Lord of the Rings?
Who, us?
I've seen it, yeah.
Are
Okay,
we
so
talking to?
you know
Look
it, you
how it
know
says
it.
my wife's name. This is great. She's gonna
I
Uh,
know that came up and Halsey's like, "Who the fuck is Vicky?"
who's
And I was
fucking
like, "Oh,
Vinny Coco?
the
rename,
f-
dude.
the first thing I thought was like, "Oh man, I'm being too loud."
You remind
And
me
that's
of the
because I just got so high. It's like
It-
immediately the paranoia. I
Cal's
was
like
like,
that
"No,
wizard
Vicky's
from The
calling me."
Hobbit with the little rabbit sleigh. You know, he's got all these fucking foreign weeds from different planets and dimensions.
Wait till you see the cover of our new single that comes out on the 29th. Shameless plug.
Nah, do it, man. That's what this shit's for.
You're
We're
gonna
here to
crack
shame,
up. Cal looks like an avatar creature or something.
shame and shame. Yeah, it's my furry. I've been calling it, but
He's
George,
li-
did
y'all
you
see it.
ever
he
you ever
told the
hear
artist that he was turned into. He's like, you turned me into a furry, dude. He's like,
Bro, and
No,
I had a boy, my Brandon, come through, right? And Cal met us out at a bar for some beers, and we're walking down back to my old place. And Cal's like, I got this joint. You want to smoke? And I'm like, Brandon, this isn't no fucking Philly weed, bro. Like, just relax. He's like,
I
dude, I'm
think I
good.
heard about
He's
this.
like, I'm good. I've been smoking weed my whole life. And then he takes 2 hits off of Cal's J, and it's like, I gotta go fucking home. This is too much. It's like, I gotta go home.
yeah,
Yes.
they were
Yes.
hanging. I know this is like pretty. I'm sure George is proud to hear that.
Dude,
Oh,
it
I
was
was.
so, it's like a
It's the
fucking
name of the
movie,
game.
though.
You know,
For
I
a
heard.
real long time, yeah.
No, no, go, go.
That is for a real long time. I was like the llama who didn't smoke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and
For a
so I've
long
only
time, actually,
recently been.
which a
Yeah,
lot of people never like. A lot of people are like, for real. Even
yeah,
as it happened, people were like, "You don't smoke." People were like, "You hang out with these guys?"
yeah. It's like
Cal's
part
just
like
sitting
what are
there,
you
just
doing? Or
looking
part like wait,
cheesed
that
up.
can't be true. Yeah,
That's
no, it's
funny,
true.
man. It's
But
real
so yeah, but
shit.
like actually later, the can I say the rest of that night really quickly? It's because it's a very interesting story, Halsey.
Hmm.
I spent the rest of the night. His roommate passed out on the couch.
Oh,
Halsey
shit.
got in game, and then
Oh,
I talked to Halsey's third roommate at the time, who turned out to be like a
Massive
fish,
fish head.
yeah, fish head, and it was like, and like God bless him, like it was exactly what you'd expect for
Bro,
about
every
like
fish fan is the
two and a
same
half
in that
hours.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
These
and
are my
that's why
top
it's
five
hard.
songs. These are my
That's why
top
it's
yeah,
five
hard.
concert experiences.
That's the only reason it's hard to be a fish. Like listen to fish. I've heard this girl the other day said she said some shit, and it wasn't even a joke. She's like, and then he tried to show me, and then he tried to get me into fish, and I was like,
But that's like a literally a whole religion you're walking into. You gotta
I
just
was like,
yeah,
you gotta reset your brain waves to get into that shit deep.
but you could just listen to it, you know. Like
yeah.
I
It's
never.
When
super
does it
super
okay?
chill.
When
I
does it
love the
stop
music.
though? When does one song start and the other one stop? It's literally
That's right.
47 minutes of E minor and
Is
like
it
Trey
47
grunting.
minutes?
Bro, it's all I can't do it. I don't
Wait,
understand it.
what is it about their music and like or other fandoms like a specific is it you think it's something about the music that
It's the
attracts like that type of
hallucinogenic
fandom?
drugs,
Yeah,
bro.
it's a
What do you
very
mean?
like it's a driving kind of monotonous little jam that's kind of tweaking just like nature around you is ever so
Yeah.
slightly every
Yeah.
Look at that blip today. Wink. Wink. It's like the same fucking shit just for 45 minutes straight, right through the peak of whatever substance you were using. You know what I mean?
What's hey, what is here's a good question. What's your like the like your favorite longest song? Like the longest song that you
oh
can say like
Oh,
shit.
that's
that's a
a
good
dope
one.
track. Yeah.
Hmm.
I was gonna
I
say
don't know my answer to that.
Inagata Devita.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
I'm gonna say
No, it's true
Achilles'
though.
Last Stand by Zeppelin. It's like 11 minutes of just fucking ancient Greek power
What's it
music.
called?
Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin.
It sounds worth listening every
Dude, it's
minute of
fucking
that. Are you
nuts.
kidding?
It's
That
insane.
sounds epic.
It's basically what it is.
My
It's the
shit is
most
so
epic.
yeah. My shit's very stereotypical for me, actually. I couldn't think of a song right now. I was like, damn, that's a good question, but I don't even know. And I'm gonna say Cannabis, the poet laureate shit that he does. I know it's so like,
Oh
and it's
fuck.
kind of whack that it's true, but I was like, it's so dope. Specifically the one I forget what number it is, but it's on the album that he recorded with Stoop from the who's the producer from like fuck like Ill Bill like that shit.
Uh,
Okay.
What are those
the
guys called? Nonfiction.
underground.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I know it's a really like that's the wackest answer, but it's true.
No, I've
I
never
love
even heard of
fucking
this.
love cannabis.
You always turn
You
me
should
on to
hear
some
it.
crazy shit, dude. Cal's like one of the most under like people don't ever really see it coming, but Cal knows so much about hip hop and
He's got the
music in
the
general.
sleeper tunes.
He knows every dude. He knows so much, and I don't
But
know, man.
it definitely hits like a wall at a certain year for me now.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
You're definitely a
like it'll be
very
rough.
old.
I'm
You're an
like,
old
damn,
head. You're an
I
old
can't
head.
really keep
Yeah,
up anymore.
100% old head.
But then Cal jumped back into the soup when Chance the Rapper became a household name.
Bro,
Actually, way
Yeah, I like.
before. Cal was on it way before everybody was on it, and he was
Yeah,
preaching it, bro. He was
I
I
preaching
never
agree.
it.
really got
I mean, it's
super
so.
into Chance, but I do respect like his whole. Why didn't Kanye West help that dude just a little bit more? You know what I
Maybe
mean?
that's
That
what's
last
on.
album's weird. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
he helped him. He got a hell of a
yeah, for sure.
cosign.
Like he definitely took him to like the superstardom level. Like Chance was like popping for a while at like
Yeah,
a
but then like he
regular
did that.
level, and then
What was
like
it? The three tour, and then like
yeah,
And then he made horrible music.
you,
yeah,
yeah. Look,
that seems to
I don't
happen
even
though,
want
man.
It
to,
was
but
like
it's
he had a
true.
bunch
Like
of back burner records, it
Yeah.
was like a bunch of. He's like, yeah, we could finally use that one song and that other one that we did when we were on shrooms. Remember that?
It's like Kid
Yeah,
Cudi's
I don't even
second album
know.
too.
I love Chance the Rapper's like a lot of his shit except that album. It's so weird.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
so
I
weird.
no, I mean for real, like acid rap is one of my favorite
That's the
album
first
pieces,
one,
whatever
right?
of all time. That's actually his
It's the
second. His
second
first one
one.
was 10 Day,
And then he
and
10
released
Day's
that's
a
like
amazing too.
a Christian album,
yeah.
right? Like a Sunday gospel type.
He did that.
Well, he like after
It's like a
acid rap, he
play.
started one like as he started like really getting big, he started becoming more like that's like part of the. I mean, I don't want to say it turned me off to him, but I'm just like, I just
He likes God. I
I
hate him.
love no, yeah, exactly. It sounds messed up,
Yeah.
but I do think that it's just I'm down. I think there's a place for that like positive all the time thing, but I just like I don't know. I don't really need
It
that. I
seems
like
I
like
I
don't
like
think
a little bit of
like
both.
it was aimed at that for
A
it was like
little, yeah. And
you
I
I
don't
know
think he can escape
yeah,
that now though. That's like he has to like imagine if Chance the
once you do that shit,
Rapper says fucking bitch. See you, That's it. Cosigns
well,
canceled.
you know what
gone.
though?
Yeah,
It's
you're
kind of
out, bro.
interesting though because he's like definitely carved a path for being not like he doesn't have to be like you know
Bro, he's
like
riding Will
Taylor Swift.
Smith
Like I'm not having sex
coattails.
with, until marriage. Like he doesn't have to be like that. I mean, I guess he already is a kid.
But
He's like
Kanye
still
kind of
kind of like
like
hip hop.
it seems like Kanye kind of does because he's so off on the
Yeah.
off the deep end.
Well,
It's like
that's a whole
it.
other thing.
That
Yeah.
guy's a
He's
fucking
and he
idiot.
where he came from is like he's like it's like so you wait. Can we all just have a rambunctious as fuck ass life and then do what you're doing? Like, is
Yeah.
this what we can do? Like, I'm ready
Dude,
to have another couple years and then get my fucking ranch in Idaho or
You
whatever.
can if you're Catholic,
well,
absolutely.
right
You
when
know.
Chance started to really skyrocket with like what's that All the Problems song? You ain't got no problem with the problem with me or whatever. It was like
Got no
on L.
problem, got no
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
with
So
me.
Yeah,
like
that was
the
on three,
pivot
right?
from
Yeah.
that is like Kanye really leaned into being like a Trump idiot. So like that
Yeah.
separation, it's like just a big fork in the road for both of their careers.
It
Kanye's
is.
too powerful and like known, so it doesn't really matter what the fuck he
I
does.
kind of
And
wish. I
Chance
wish.
was like, I gotta distance myself from this shit.
Who like? How did that? Is Trump like one day like, oh my god, let him in. Like, let's do this.
Come,
It's
Kanye.
happening. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yeah.
This is what's gonna skyrocket our fucking the whole fucking presidency. It's gonna be a meeting
I
with
mean,
Kanye.
Dude, I
yeah.
don't know. I think
I don't
it's
even
just
like thinking about it.
it's
It's
money,
Kanye
dude.
so
right now.
weird.
It's money. It
Kanye
makes
is
people
a
dumb.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe I think that there's clearly mental health issues that it's like people are taking advantage of. For real. You know, we don't
Oh,
talk about it enough
true.
when like famous people or anybody for that matter, but famous people generally like,
Crack.
oh, if they're clearly having like a mental break. And we like it's like in the tabloids like, oh,
Well, he
like
even said
Britney or
it.
something like that, you know? It's like they
It's
really take
he even
advantage of
talks
that
about
situation.
it. You know.
Yeah, and it's
When
true.
Kim Kardashian is the voice of reason in a household, something is up, and that's like no disrespect to her, but like that family doesn't have the best track record in
No,
terms of
every
like
time I think
logical
about it,
judgment decisions.
it's true. I sometimes I'm like, the whole situation paints her as this like really able and strong ass motherfucking smart ass woman. Like for real, it
I mean,
does. It just
I believe that. I mean, I believe they're smart as fuck. That whole
oh
family. I mean, look at what
definitely.
they've done.
That's it.
They
But I'm
Chris
saying
figured out
like
their
Jenner.
I don't know,
yeah.
man.
Chris is out here like Emperor Palpatine, bro, just fucking taking down a whole resistance, owning an empire, like releasing her own daughter's sex tape with fucking Ray J.
Is that really what
Oh,
happened? Is that
Yeah,
really?
true?
I have no doubt
That's
in my mind
amazing.
that she was
Wow.
like, we got to lean into it. We'll be the ones,
This
because
is some good stuff. You need to put this out.
yeah, no, like honestly,
Like my
instead
mom
of
with my
making it an
music.
issue, be like, yo, patent that shit, release T-shirts. We got VHS and DVD
Dope theory.
specials. Yeah,
You don't gotta suck any more dicks.
Yeah, and
You-
porno sucks too, by the way. That's like the first porn someone ever looked up. When you're like 8 years old and you type in boobs, that's like the video you get.
bro.
Yeah, I definitely
Grain,
watched that.
that grainy ass piece of shit video.
Well, it was like first it was like Tommy Lee and like Pamela Anderson on that boat.
Oh yeah,
That was
those
before Ray
fucking
J
rich.
I was gonna
and
say
Kim
I
Kardashian
was I
got
don't know
going.
how am I just old? There
You
was
don't
some
remember
riot.
that,
I
bro?
had like
What's
porn
your
on
early?
floppy disks, dude. We had in sixth
No,
grade. We were trading
really?
Tommy
porn.
Lee floppy disks,
Bro, no,
bro.
no, no. I'm not kidding. In school, people were
I don't remember that.
trading whatever the newer. I swear to God, dude.
Yeah, the three and a half
This is
inch floppy disk.
1990.
That sounds like some villain shit.
Yeah, it was some Belen. 1996. People were trading. Like I'd have like numbered ones. I'm like, dude, did you get the number 6 from this dude? Or it's
Halsey,
like we
this is
would
like
even
a
trade. I'm like,
this is an all boys Catholic school in
it was
George
horrible.
is out here.
Yeah.
Yo, I got the first half of this still image of
Yeah.
Tommy Lee's
Dude,
dick
this
on
guy was
floppy
like,
disk 1 through
yo,
4.
Other
I
side's
left
got Pam Anderson. I
Yeah.
swear.
we would like I went to my friend's house. He's like, yo, my mom's computer, she wasn't using it, so I left it on the whole night and it downloaded this thing. And it's this like 18-second porn that I had never seen anything. I was like, yo, because up to then I had seen only like Playboy porn, like pay-per-view porn,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
on from the cable box. And I was like, I thought that shit was wild. And I was, figuring out what the hell my boner was, and I was so
It's
intrigued
like
by
whacking
everything.
it on
Everything was
the wall
amazing.
and shit.
I'm like, do I have to piss right now?
Dude, I became a
Yeah,
master
so
of
you
the
have to-
AOL1 chat room. My name was Karen, and I was a
Oh.
lesbian from Chicago. ASL, like I was living triple lives in that bitch.
How old? Wait, age.
And
Yes, what was ASL?
age, sex,
Hey, say
location.
slow
No,
case.
no.
Come on,
What was
Cal.
your age?
Oh,
Oh, I
age
was like
was your-
19, female, Chicago. Literally,
Yeah.
there's Karen, which is my mom's name, which is fucked up to think about now. So like, my dad caught me,
you
and
were
on
a
that.
girl. You were
Oh
getting.
yeah,
Oh
dude.
shit.
I was out there trying to be a lesbian at like age 9 through 12, bro. I leaned so far into that
You're like,
shit.
I can
And
do
my
this.
dad caught me because I started
Digital
literally
native.
talking to someone, and he got an email, and like AOL was like, "Yo, this ain't right."
Oh
So
my
he
god.
brought me down on his old ass like Dell fucking laptop, and he's like, "Sam, what the fuck is this?" And
No
he
way.
pulls up an email of me being like, "Hey baby," like fuck, like this
Oh,
stupid ass
yeah.
9-year-old trying to write like a porn
Shit.
intro. It's like,
Oh
"Let me
my
kiss
god.
on your nipples, baby," fucking weird shit. That was part of growing up back then, though.
I want
This
to.
is
Yeah. No, for real.
hilarious, dude.
I want to
Bro,
see
wait.
that pros.
What year did you graduate, Halsey?
'06 is when I graduated high school.
Okay. So you're a little you made it sound like you were like way younger. But I graduated 03, and I was probably at the edge of like people never using floppy disks again. So I don't know what the
Yeah,
hell
yeah,
was
yeah. I
I don't know
remember
what
them like small of my like late 8 to 10 time, and then they were
Yeah, yeah,
gone
yeah.
forever. Like CDs were the
Did
next.
you ever see the big actual floppy discs? Did
No.
you ever see that? That's
What
what
have you
the
seen?
beginning
Yeah.
of my like memory is. My dad like putting these big
Big
fucking floppy sleeve like these sleeves. They look like papers, fucking thin, and they
Yeah.
just like
I
it was like
played
an
Oregon Trail
envelope
on
that
that.
you put in. Yeah, I would play some
At
games, some
school.
racing game.
bro.
Yeah, there was like a racing
Oregon
game.
Trail was that shit, dude.
It was that shit.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Remember Number Munchers too, where you do
That is the shit.
yo,
Number
yeah.
Munchers is the
You
shit.
do
Number
like
Munch.
the simple math equations, and you get these little fucking creatures fighting these other creatures in these like
I
8-bit
yeah.
fucking cutscenes and shit. That game was
I had a few of those math games and I loved them. It's so weird that I just love just doing math problems in the
yeah. Now you're a
game.
lawyer, bro.
Yeah.
The fuck, bro?
I know. But where did I
I
go
love the
wrong?
way you
Where'd you
said
go
that.
wrong,
Now
dude?
you're a
Now you're a
lawyer.
fucking lawyer, Cal. A
He
weed
kept it.
smoking lawyer.
He's
It's
like, I'm
true.
gonna crunch them numbers.
Yeah.
I don't ever use a calculator or
He's such a
numbers now.
people's person. You're a people's person. The only time I've ever used my TI-83 for more than like 5 minutes was to play the drug dealer game.
The
Did you guys
graphing
have?
Say, do you remember the
calculator.
drug dealer
Yeah,
game?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
lewd.
yeah.
That's when I first heard the word lewds because like
I
you could
played
sell
that
Lewd-
shit
oh.
so much. I was addicted
Yeah.
to that game, dude. I was like,
Bro, that's like the original
It was a-
Game Boy. That T183 calculator,
yeah,
dude.
there we
Did
go.
The
you
graphing
TI-83.
calculator.
Did you play the text drug dealer game, Halsey?
I can't
Did you?
remember. You know, I honestly I don't think I had one of those calculators, and I was
Oh
that
man.
kid in class who was like, "Ew, this poor fucker."
You're like, oh,
Like, yeah.
AP boy over here,
No, I had like literally like
honors boy.
no. I just couldn't afford it or some shit. I don't think I ever had a calculator because I'd always
It
get it
is.
from
It's
the
like
teacher, and they'd be like, it was like the poor kid, spit on this little fuck.
I'm saying that's what
I
you
think
would
they
say
are
though.
like
You'd be like,
honeycombs.
oh, George's AP.
Oh
He's
yeah,
got this.
yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
this Game Boy
He's out here
calculator.
with that Sega graphing
Yeah,
calculator.
it's like a Sega Gen. What is it?
Sega
What is
Game
that?
Gear.
Game Gear. That thing looks like a
Game
fucking.
Gear.
It's the thick. It's like a VCR, dude. That
Mm-hmm.
shit's crazy.
You
Then
used
you
to
got
have. I had a
Dreamcast,
game.
bro.
I had a Game Gear, and I had this
Shit's
like
raw.
attachment to it that was basically it was like a
The
giant
mag,
like yeah the
the
magnifying
magnifying
like
glass. Yo, I
it's
remember
the
that
most
shit.
ridiculous
Yeah.
accessory. It's like a giant magnifying glass. So you it's like imagine, but like it's bigger than any phone, anything you could imagine.
Hey, it's
Oh
literally
Children
man.
out
just like
there,
a little
like
like
yeah, you
magnified screen, like the dome
yeah,
though. It was like a TV bubble.
so
And then
that
you
you could
wonder
see
why
it
they made
bigger.
Jinkos. That's why they made Jinko pants.
Yeah,
Bro, those things are
yeah.
coming back, unfortunately, and
Really?
I hate any, because it's all like kids from Silver Lake who are doing it. Like, I'm so
Jinkos.
tired of these motherfuckers, man.
I
Wait,
haven't seen a pair of Jinkos in forever.
maybe we can make like an iPhone version of that Game Gear
Oh,
screen
they
and
said
sell it.
iPhone Jinkos. I'm about to
We
be
could
like,
sell
whoa,
it.
bro.
No, we could sell it as like a throwback,
The
like
drug
a
dealer game?
well, one, the drug dealer game. We got to figure that out. Two, an iPhone shaped Game Gear screen enhancer.
Oh, shit. I'm going to find a picture of that and I'll
It's a
post
giant
it.
It's
magnifying glass that
horrible.
people can put on their iPhone. Yeah,
Hold
That's,
on. Game
yeah.
Gear.
those things are
Those things were legit as fuck. We frozen.
that's a TV. I was like, this guy has a TV. It's a color TV. It wigged me out. I was like, look at what the future is gonna do. This is the
It's dope.
future.
It was dope because it was like full color. It was like you're playing, you know,
Sega
your NES
Genesis.
or yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
something like that.
It
Yeah,
was it was
Genesis.
basically the portable one.
it was pretty dope.
Bro, Game Boy Color too. And PSP, right? When we were a little bit older, PSP
Yeah, I
was
never had a
like
or played a PSP too much.
PSP was it was like the Switch. It's basically what the Switch is now. And it was in
It
like two
really was.
yeah, it was like 2000 when it was popular. Wireless connecting to multiplayer shit. Bro, I used to play what was it? WWE
Damn, that was
versus Raw
wireless.
or no, SmackDown.
Oh yeah, we love those wrestling games. Well, I was a big
Uh,
WCW like
I played the
watcher.
Raw one and the one with what's the one with Steve Austin on the cover, like Warzone or some shit.
Yeah, Warzone, and then there was also NWO versus WCW Revenge on
That
that
is
64,
that is
dog.
That was the
classic.
best.
That's the
That's an
best
That
one,
was the
amazing
dude.
best.
game. Yeah,
That
that's
was
an
the
Those
best
amazing.
whole
one.
like I think that's like THQ or whatever was the company, and they made the sickest or like a Japanese company that made the sickest wrestling games. And
Yeah.
like they went out of business after the
That was
Revenge.
a
They
style.
made
That was
games
like a
that
pretty
yeah.
dope. Like, yeah,
I loved it. I was such a WCW guy. I was like
Rey
deep into the
Mysterio.
NWO, the Wolf Pack
I didn't
Yeah.
know
scene,
The
anything.
Wolf
like
Pack was
switching
mean,
sides.
man. Yeah.
Rey
X
Mysterio.
Pac, Kane,
Uh-huh. What was
all
the
of
name
them.
of the other Mexican guy they had who did the
Eddie
Tequila Sunrise?
Guerrero.
Like
Eddie
Eddie
Guerrero, yeah.
Guerrero is the
He
frog's
killed
guy.
himself, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, they
All
definitely
these
had like
wrestlers, man.
well they
Shit,
had
did he really?
CTE.
He really killed himself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo, Chris
he had
Benoit
Chris
fucking
Benoit killed his family. He killed
he went
himself.
on some like fucking Brad
Yeah.
Pitt 7 shit. Left
No, it's
Bibles next to his dead family, like heads and shit.
yeah.
Didn't report anything for like 3 days and just walked around the house. Just how drunk? Apparently, he was drunk after he did all that shit. How fucking drunk do you have to be to hang out with the corpse of your family member?
I mean,
You
it's
got to be
like the most
fucked up.
Yeah, I
people
think you
like
got to be
again.
all little something else besides
You
drunk.
would see
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
whole
shit.
all these
You got
all
to be a
these
little fucked in the head.
it's really like it's crazy and
That's
intense. But it's
intense,
all
dude.
these things are about CTE. They're like the repeated like
Yeah, the
concussion
concussion
syndrome.
trauma. Yeah.
That
Same thing like
sucks, man.
yeah, and like it's proven medically, scientifically to like affect like your brain chemistry and make you sort of like you go crazy or like depressive and all these
Are
other
you
They,
things.
talking? Are you talking down the U.S. Constitution right now, Cal? Do I hear you
What?
getting into our U.S. liberties? Are you gonna take away fucking football
Football?
from? Are you gonna take football away from this fucking beautiful country
No,
of
like
ours?
actually a great way to like a kind of non-intuitive way to fix the problem is by taking away helmets, like taking away
yeah,
padding.
the
Problem
head to
is
Really?
that
head.
they can, yeah, they can hit each other way harder because they have this like gear,
That's true.
and because they
Yeah,
hit each other
That's true.
harder, that's what causes like rugby players, they don't have CTE. They
Because they
don't
don't go
have
around
well,
fucking
they
running
I
into
also
think they
people.
do
like
also, but not
they
as
are
bad, not as the
sauced up
tirades.
on them Ivan Drago cocktails, man. Those guys use
Really?
steroids
Oh
like
yeah. Oh yeah,
crazy.
NFL.
You ever seen a rugby player's thigh? It's like a size
That's
38 waist, bro. These guys are literally carrying around just watermelons tucked in their pants and shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's
I
like,
I don't know
how do you
enough about
find
rugby, man.
pants?
Shout out to
Oh, it's
Jube. Jube could probably school us.
Rugby?
rugby's no
I
joke.
guess they do play it in England, right?
Isn't that an English thing?
Australia, I think it's biggest in
Yeah, they have like
Australia.
well, in Australia they have Australian football, which is not rugby and not football.
Bro, fuck
I didn't know
Australia,
this.
dog. This is
It's
all
yeah,
their fault
Whoa.
somehow.
Whoa.
sure.
Bro, how you
Yeah,
gonna
the whole continent.
how's your whole continent gonna burn the fuck down and then 6 months later, a couple thousand miles away, we get another world-ending event? Like, what's happening, man?
Do
So
you
who's
think
in
it's
charge
that?
of this?
You think the
No,
wildfires are connected?
no, I don't. But I just think that
Dude,
like this year started with all of that continent being engulfed in fire.
that was
Yeah.
pretty wild. Did you see that picture from like space?
Yeah, it's like all of the just scorched earth, dude.
That's
Like fire
wild.
and brimstone, all that biblical shit people talk about, and like
It's
play, like
happening.
it's happening, bro.
And I don't know if you
Murder
noticed
wasps,
murder
dude.
hornets. Yeah, I was about to
Yeah, what
say
the fuck,
that's pretty. That's a locust, right?
bro? A wasp is the size like this big, like 2 inches, and it can sting multiple times without dying. What a dickhead
Is this like
animal.
around California? Like,
No,
where
no, no.
is
They're
this?
they're
It
coming
was
in
in
the East
Seattle.
Coast. Oh, was it? Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, not Seattle, but in
Oh
Washington.
shit.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, it's
Well,
you're
just
not
stay
gonna
away
like
from the bees. I mean, everybody's tripping out, and I'm just like, just stay away from them. What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah, I feel like if
yeah.
you get stung by a
No.
murder hornet, it's like
You
natural
get
selection
murdered,
at that
probably.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I mean it does
Yeah. What are you doing around them if you're right? It's
Yeah.
like,
If I see a bee this fucking big, I'm out. I'm
yeah.
yeah,
out.
no. They could be like kind of aggressive though, you know.
Well, what's funny is people think it's a fake thing. They think it's just like a
Wait,
fake
really?
news. Yeah, there's like this whole flat Earth society type shit where
About
they're
the
like,
murder hornets?
yeah, they're like, this is an Old Testament ploy to keep people of faith in check, and it's like,
Wow.
yeah,
People are just, you could say anything, I guess. Bro, I don't know. The whole, we were in a chat. Me and Cal were in this. We do this trivia every Friday with it's like a big Zoom hang, and
hmm
this guy, I didn't understand that he was being real, and all of a sudden I go,
A
wait a
couple
second.
of times.
I literally said, hold up, you really believe this? That's what I said, like an asshole.
Wait, about like flat Earth?
I never thought I would be the guy that says, hold up, but you really
No.
believe? Oh, you really believe this? That's what I
What
said.
what was his belief?
So he says everybody that he knows that's smart, everybody smart he knows,
That's such a fake like
first
thing
of
to
all,
say.
knows that's just to start off
Yeah.
that that the aliens are preparing us for first contact. And in order to do that, they're giving us coronavirus so that we all,
Mhm.
first of all, unite around one issue. And we all like, what the fuck? Doesn't matter what happens at first. But then when we find the cure, we all have this positive vibration that we all give off, and we all sink into this frequency of like energy where the aliens can now come down and talk to us because we're woke now, and we can like accept it.
We're alien woke
We're
now. Yeah.
alien woke. We're vibrating at their frequency now with this positive, everybody all together, this energy, and they're like, all right, let's go say what's up now.
I hope I never meet this person.
Yeah, no, I totally forgot he started that whole thing off with
And
everybody smart. I
then,
know.
oh
But
my
yeah.
god, and
Cool.
then, oh my god,
Yeah, then it got really weird.
It got
Bro,
really
weirder than
weird.
that?
Bro, I think
Yeah, it did.
this is gonna I think Halsey's gonna feel a certain type of way too, man. Because I see
Yeah.
you hanging out with your homie all day. Um, dude, he literally goes into telling a story about how he killed a fucking cat after that. But how
Ugh.
he in
Yeah.
his slight defense, I don't even know if this is in his defense, but he said, which is it's kind of weird how he had to like tell it, but he's basically explaining how he had to put it out of its misery because it was injured. And I
Okay,
didn't
so
even hear
I
the
agree
I
with
didn't even
that
hear the rest of
100%.
it. But the way he said it, and Robin the week, it was like as if it was a planned punked episode or something. Because literally the week before, in the same chat room, she was like, "If anybody ever talks about killing a cat, I'm out." And that's literally what happened. It was weird
Yeah.
as fuck. Like a
Yeah.
week later, this guy, he wasn't even in the one the week before, which is like so weird. It was the weirdest. I
This
don't
guy
know,
just
man.
came in spitting alien wokeness and killing cats, bro.
Yeah, he came in
And
way too
Robin's
hot
like,
to the Zoom
Robin's
That's a
like,
chat.
hot
nah,
that's a hot
sorry,
drop right
I'm
there.
out of
Yeah.
here. And she literally just she was on shrooms too, but she was like she was too much
On a
for her.
Zoom call?
On the Zoom
Yo.
trivia chat.
On like
She
the
That's fucking
rando
that's
trivia
that's
chat.
dedication right there,
she
man.
ducked out for a little bit. It was a little too much for her apparently.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
But
important that
I'm
if
done
an,
with Zoom.
an animal is hurt, you put it out of its misery. I agree with
Yeah.
that. But if it's like you're putting the misery that it's in first, if you're
Yeah.
like lining that up so
Oh,
that you
dude,
have to kill it,
so fucked.
that's just like sadistic and you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just some. I mean, that was the excuse he gave, but there was just something about the way he said it
It
and
was
brought it
so
up.
That's
weird.
also
Yeah.
that's also something where
I don't
like
know.
you really want to have to tell someone that.
And he was
Like
kind of laughing.
if I dealt with that, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be like, "Yo, I had to kill this cat, but he was in misery." You know, I wouldn't want to be like talking about that shit. I would not want my name
To
associated with the
15
death.
people. To like
Yeah,
Yeah.
15
to the
people.
death of an animal.
Strangers.
This guy's probably mad lonely or like actually
The
a serial killer. You
the
know what I mean?
Rona cabin fever's hitting hard.
Yeah, people killing
Yeah.
cats and trying to fucking get
I
woke with
killed a cat.
aliens.
He's like, I
Yeah.
gotta confess.
I mean, I was just, that's also what you get for doing a Zoom chat with just random strangers on the
Yeah, well,
internet.
so you guys remember Omegle and like chat roulette?
No, wait. I know
Okay.
chat
Yeah, I
roulette.
do.
So Omegle was like you could put in an interest into a chat roulette and kind of like narrow the view of the the old Russian men jerking off you get because that's like the base. That's the base like
The majority was people that just
audience
wanted to
there.
jerk off to people.
Yeah, get a
That's
bunch of
so
like
weird.
that's what they do, bro. But Omegle, like so if you had like, say we have 100 friends and we are all on Omegle and like everyone uses the same interest, you can just kind of cycle through those people on that same interest.
That's so weird.
Yeah,
I
it
didn't
was
know about
popular as
that.
shit at the start of like remember
2010.
not even like 2015 was when I was using it, like
Oh
not
shit.
too long ago.
Oh wow.
That's why like
Omegle.
I didn't know you could do
How about that?
Zoom randoms. That sounds terrible. That sounds
You
like
can?
hell.
You could just randomly.
I don't know. You guys said this guy came in randomly in that Zoom. That's why I was like, wait, what?
No, he
All right,
didn't.
we'll get
He
down.
didn't randomly come in, but it's like an open. It's a game of trivia that
Yeah,
like people
explain
have
it.
just been
Explain it to
inviting.
Halsey.
So every
Yeah.
Friday at
Oh
7
yeah, yeah,
p.m. West Coast time, this guy holds a trivia. Anybody can come in. Pretty much anybody can come in unless you.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
even know how weird
everybody's
you got to act to get kicked out of there. But like people
no,
brought their
everybody's
mom,
been
their
yeah, that
weird
guy was on the
friend. Like
that guy was on the
yeah.
line, I think. But yeah, everybody's just
He's
been
just
invited by other
waiting,
people's
you know.
friends.
He's sitting there like, I gotta get in one of these fucking trivia games and tell these
Yeah.
people I just killed this cat. I gotta do it.
oh
Well,
my
people
god.
Yeah.
were like, that's why they added passwords to Zooms because people were like randomly going
To
into
get
Zoom.
hacked and shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like showing them like, but like weirdos were going on
Pulling
like
their
Oh
school,
yeah,
like
bro.
like
There was
public
a
school Zoom chats and like showing
yeah
their dicks to
screaming the
people.
N word and shit. I saw that's what I saw on Reddit. There was a kid who
Yeah,
was
it's fucked
in like
up.
a classroom, and then a guy hacked into the teacher's thing and just started screaming like at the top of his lung the N
I
word.
saw some funny ass shit on Barstool. I think it was Barstool, where like I don't know what dude. This guy, it seemed like it was staged, but it was a few videos that this guy's in, and he's in the group chat, and he does some outrageous. He says some outrageous shit every time. He was like, "What's up, Chan?" He's like, "I hear you, bro. Last time you raised your hand, you said this shit. Next time you fucking say that." you should be ready. I'll fucking fight you over that shit, bro. Chan, you better be ready to throw fists over this shit, cause I ain't fucking playing. And the teacher's there, like, what the fuck?
What
All
the
right,
fuck?
relax, dude. Like, and
I
then
love it.
it's the weirdest shit,
First day
dude.
back at school, that kid's just getting rolled the fuck out in the parking
And
lot.
Chan, and like, I can't remember what happens, but dude, yeah. And then there's the
That-
kid. There was one kid that's like, literally, dude, it's real as fuck. This kid's like, he just lights up. He's like, fuck this shit. And he's like
Oh yeah, I
lighting up
saw
the
that. I
biggest
saw that.
blunt ever.
Yeah,
And the teacher's like, you cannot be doing that in this class.
yeah.
That was real.
You
Oh,
you
man.
need, and they like, yeah, it's real. I mean, if it's staged, they're so real looking. It's insane. And
No,
the
I,
amount of people
I
they
saw
need to be
the
making
blunt
faces
one.
and shit. Like,
Yeah, I follow this meme account that always mixes Young Thug songs to shit like that, and the kid, it's like one of the the glasses come down to deal with it memes, and so he's literally on the Zoom call and he's like, "We said no music." This is like the teacher, and then the kid's like, "Fuck you," and you just see this giant bongo, and it's like, boom, they drop on him.
fuck you, I'm home, bro.
Bro, it's gonna be weird though, man. The school's even coming back, or are they just doing it all remotely now?
What
Like
is
forever?
up? What is up with the world now? This
It's
is
gonna
insane.
suck, dude.
It truly is. I mean,
Have you
and
guys
it
even
really
left the
does suck
house
for people
since
who
this
are.
started? I know, George, you're like
Bro.
locked
I have
down.
twice.
I left one time to the grocery store and we
That
got
was like
groceries
the-
delivered. And when I did that time, it was like 2 weeks before they shut this shit down. Like two
Yeah,
weeks
no,
before
I
they
remember
shut.
when this all started, and
And
as
I
that,
was wearing, I wore a
You were-
goddamn like graffiti ventilator to the grocery store,
yeah,
and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" when
this,
they
this
saw
this
me.
guy's
Yeah.
out here living in Fallout. You know what I mean?
I'm like, yo, people were like, and then I'm like, what? What's up, dude? What's up? Like, I'm
Yeah.
here. I'm here. I can see you. Dude.
Dude,
This
George
lady
is
like
locked.
looks
George
back,
is locked down, bro. You
and
literally.
then her other friend like she says something, and then the other lady looks back, and I go, I was like, what's up? What's sign?
Yeah.
Was that
They're
over
like,
here at
"Oh,
the?
this was at the Ralph's in like getting into Glendale, going
yeah.
towards Glendale off
Yeah.
of the whatever that
Yeah.
street
Got it.
The
is.
five area.
I, fuck, I don't know what it is.
No,
I
we're
don't
right
know
here by
any.
San Fernando and Central.
I feel like I
Um,
think California's like done with it, man. Like
I mean,
we don't have any. We have the lowest amount of like peak cases, right? I personally have
I'm gonna look up some
only
numbers.
been going
I'm a
out like
stat boy.
myself. I don't really, I have one friend that comes over who's like my quarantine buddy. We like play darts and fucking video games and shit. But in terms of that, like I'll go run and get my coffee in the morning, and I'll get like the groceries I need for the week on that like big.
Are you
know,
wearing
the-
a mask or what?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah, yeah.
doing?
Yeah, but at the
I'm
same
so
time,
like,
it's like, I'm definitely more aware of like washing my hands and shit now, which is like a good
hell yeah.
thing. I feel like everyone should just do that in general. But I think that if it was something that was going to affect like even if I got it or had it or have it, I don't think that my immune system is compromised enough or weak enough to like actually get hurt by it.
God, I mean,
Because you
God
always like
bless, bro. I really hope this is, yeah, that's
well, because I mean, so here's the thing: like, you're young, just as young as I am. You might not like run or whatever or smoke, but the whole thing is unless you have like a pneumonia or you're sick or there's something where it can kind of seep through in one of those ways. All of the healthy people that I know that got sick with it are all had pneumonia first. It like
that's so
kind of
wild.
it kind of came like side by side, and then it was like,
That's
oh,
crazy.
turns out because your lungs are kind of so fucked up from pneumonia and the fluid, this came in and made it harder for your lungs to repair.
That's so crazy.
There's a dude
Yeah.
on the Joe Rogan
Did-
podcast, too, Michael Yo, who had it, and he talks about it, and he's
I
like,
heard about
I
that.
didn't know I had walking pneumonia till I knew I had COVID-19. So he's just
Right.
walking around with
He
shit
was
in his lungs.
scared. That guy was.
Bro,
I mean,
he almost
obviously.
died, dude.
Yeah, he did.
Dang.
Yeah, when he
Well-
talks about when he came back and he put his first post up on IG, he's like crying. He's
Yeah,
like
man.
straight up like, I can't believe. He's like, choking up, trying to talk, trying to finish his shit. But holy shit, yeah, this shit's crazy, man. It's fucking
Yeah.
wild.
We're lucky. I mean, we're actually
Unprecedented times.
here.
I wonder how I would be if I didn't have a girl, a kid, man. I'm just like,
Well, no, yeah,
Yeah.
you got a kid. Luckily, it's not. So if it was like, imagine it was like kids who are more susceptible to it. They're
Oh
like the
my
ones who
God,
are
yeah.
like there's kind of like okay.
I'd
You don't really
freak
hear
out.
about
I would
many
lose
kids
my
that
Yeah,
have it.
they'd
shit,
be
bro.
gone. No, I know you'd
Yeah,
be gone already by now if that had come out. I think
yeah.
I don't even know
for sure.
what I would where
Yeah,
would I go? What do you
Just
what
kick
do
I
you
don't
Cal
know,
mean?
but
out.
It's
I'll
like
take Cal, and you guys just lock down the place.
we actually had
but
so
even that we've been
because
like,
having a
yeah,
kid, I think that's what Cal was about to go into, right?
yeah, like I was about to say like that time when you went out was before even I went into quarantine, and we actually lived together, and at that point I was still going out to work, and so we cordoned the house off, and you guys were in the living room front
Oh
area.
yeah, I
Yep.
remember that
Thankfully,
text.
we're lucky enough space. I mean, we were literally texting me and Sam like the night that this
You guys
stuff
made like the pillow fort, the
really.
line down the
Yeah,
wall
we
where
put
it's
a
like, yeah,
sheet.
yeah, yeah,
We put
yeah.
a
Well,
sheet in the kitchen
This
it was
fucking
it was
doorway.
that
plague rat Cal
George
Soto out of here.
George saw that other Rogan interview with that
The
Oh my
epidemiologist or virologist. I
god.
uh,
forget the guy's name, which was ended
infectious
up being like a
disease
really,
expert.
yeah, really influential and like important,
I
interview.
think that was one of the
Um,
most important things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know where I'm at now. Like I don't
yeah,
Eventually, like the scariness goes away, and that's what I think I poorly articulated earlier. Like when I go out and stuff at first, I was like, okay,
yeah,
gloves at all times, mask always up. But if I'm running now, mask is down. I don't have the gloves on. When I go into a
mask off.
business or something, I put it on,
Mm,
because I don't want to. But if I'm out running alone, like I'm running away.
right.
I'm not like in a marathon with fucking 80 people
yeah.
breathing down my shit.
Well, there was, I mean, and who knows? There was an article I read that said if as long as you're not around people, if it's as it starts to get much hotter here in LA, it's actually kind of dangerous to be running outside with a mask on,
Yeah.
for health
Well,
concerns
also
about
too, if we
Just
keep
passing
in
out and shit. Yeah, overheating, and like that could very easily
oh,
happen,
okay, okay.
when you're like
the other issue is too,
running
like, so
outside.
if we all stay inside so long, we don't let that like
Immunity.
natural immunity start as like it's not just one case. It's like the more cases that people have and beat it is better for everyone because then the antibodies and all that shit become just a part of like the natural cycle of the virus, you know what I mean? So if you keep people locked up and then you let them all out and like they don't have that, like they haven't processed it through the body yet, it's just
Then
gonna
they're
get
gonna
more people sick.
spread, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever that.
because now you're one
Part of
hypersensitive and your immune system's dropped externally from all the hand sanitizer, all the measures you take to keep yourself. They like hand sanitizer at the end of the day just weakens your immune system. Your body becomes resistant to the effects of,
I've heard this forever, but I don't know, like how. I mean, I'm sure it's true. Like I just, man, now's when we're gonna fucking see. Like
Yeah, yo, but you know what?
yeah.
So here's the thing: Georgia and all them opened, and we don't hear about them in the news anymore because it's not like clickbait negative. It's like they're fine.
I heard the
Well,
opposite. For some reason, was it with you,
let's
Cal,
see.
that the Republican states? Who was telling me this?
I wasn't. I
Somebody told me that
wasn't.
Republican states, like statistically right now, are seeing more cases and more deaths right now.
Well, yeah, that's also the idiots that are out there at fucking Dairy Queen screaming about civil rights and their fucking cherry on top whipped cream shit. Like those people can die off.
That shit is crazy.
I can confidently say that if you're
Man,
arguing with an AR-15 at a city hall about
It's so
civil rights,
weird. And
it's
how do
fucking
you how are
yeah.
dumb.
you gonna have the balls to really act like you really know something like that too? Like with a goddamn machine, whatever,
So
a
I
fucking
I
rifle,
just wanna
like
I just want to come out here, and say I'm looking at the COVID-19-projections.com, which is this MIT kid who wrote. But he just has some of the numbers, and so
say his name.
just
This
from
is
a
really cool. I haven't
oh yeah, well that's the website. I think you should go check it out. The guy's Yo Yang. Honestly, I don't know how to say
my
his name.
bad. My bad. I
I
didn't mean
was
to
trying
put
to
You
you
say
guys
on.
put him under the
exactly,
threw him under
but
the
everybody should
bus,
know that.
dude.
I'm so,
So
Fuck.
what's the
but
website again? My bad.
COVID-19-projections.com. Everybody's like, it was just added to Nate Silver's uh, aggregate stats.
I have no
Nate
idea.
Silver's a statistician.
There we go.
Anyway, but the only point I'm bringing it up is not to show his projections and stuff, but to say that California currently has 1% of the state infected. Georgia has 2% of the state infected right now.
Shit.
And,
Yeah.
I think the first cases in Georgia were later than California's. That's just to say that they're not doing great. But we'll see. I think it is also the case that I'm taking this last weekend kind of as like the date of reopening more or less, and I think you have to see 2 weeks from then.
Yeah, tomorrow
What
tomorrow
Right.
is supposed to be our first changeover, right? May 15th is this phase 2 shit.
Is it
Or did
really
Yeah,
in
I don't know
I,
what
LA?
th-
phase
I
two
think
is.
phase 2 starts May 15th in LA. The last thing to open are going to be hotels, bars, like that walk of society, but I
Well,
think not.
okay, so that was the other thing that I was gonna say, Halsey. I think your perspective's also like affected by the fact that I mean, you still have to go out and work. I
Yeah,
have a job that I can do here at home, but like you're out there, and I think that's another thing. It's kind of
I
like
got
you
really
have
lucky
to.
though. I'm
What's a
not like I'm like
what is it?
alone when I work, you know? It's just me. I have
Yeah,
very little human interaction, so it's basically like
That's great.
I am
That's
working.
amazing.
Yeah, I am
yeah.
working, but I wouldn't say that I'm at anywhere close to a risk of like the grocery store people are the people.
Shit, man.
Bro, you know
Yeah.
what's fucked? I used to get coffee at a grocery store that's next to not it is Kaiser Permanente. And like I'm thinking like all those people working in the hospital go to this Starbucks
And that guy at the Starbucks
in
is
the
like,
grocery store.
fuck.
And I'm like, this is just like the breeding ground. So I'm like, I'm not going to that motherfucker anymore. Not for a
But
while.
then again, there's so many people working. I don't know, man. I think things are so like there's so much information out there and like really bad misinformation
Yeah.
that it's almost comes down to what you hear. And I was about to go into how my cousin is a nurse in Kendall Regional in Miami, and her hospital has seen 20 cases apparently. About she said
I feel like
I can't even say that.
that's
She said
low.
about I know I'm like what the fuck in Miami? That's pretty trippy.
Yeah.
That being said, she said I don't know if she said she's seen about 20 or if that the hospital's had about 20. I think she meant that the hospital has had about 20 something cases. And I don't know, man. She's getting around like she's not going to places like non. She's going to essential. Everything's food related.
Yeah.
She goes to all of her spots and she picks things up. I'm like, holy shit, dude. You're like a nurse on top of it. So like, at one point I was
Yeah.
like, is this dangerous or is it like maybe
Just an
she
essential.
yeah, she is,
Yeah.
but it's like, man, she must be so in a specific mind state where she's like, dude, bring it the fuck on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, what the fuck? That's why. Salute to her fully.
Yeah,
I
straight
cannot
up.
believe it, dude. I like, and that gets.
I
I don't know.
guess
Is
there's an aspect of it. Look, this is not about your cousin, or I'm actually not about like a lot of the shaming of people going out in a sense of that. I think that there's a lot of societal factors that make that happen. But I will say it's not also only about whether or not you get it and you're going to experience it, but it's really because part of this disease is that you spread it asymptomatically, like you
no
never have it,
matter
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
knowing exactly. That's the really.
and
It's a
you pass
not
it to the
selfish
person.
time.
Yeah.
It's a time to not be selfish, dude. And it's hard
And
for people to be not selfish. I think it
and
really
it's like
is.
important. I mean, the aspect that is like key is this aspect of some people are needing to go out and work, right? They're being like in one way or another, they have to survive. That's how we
Right.
like pay the rent. That's how we buy food and stuff. And so they're gonna work, and also their businesses are like, look, you can't like we're gonna reopen because we need to keep operating. We need to like make our costs, and they have to do it too because they
It's
can't pay
crazy,
rent.
man.
You
Well,
know,
another
and
thing
you
is
going
that
us like going in and out. What I'm saying is that we're forcing those people to be in contact, with us
With
too.
other
Um,
infected people,
yeah,
right?
yeah, but
when that happens.
we cannot ever let the state or the federal government say you cannot do this. There always has to be so if we let that happen, it's like a military state at that point.
Yeah,
It's no longer civil liberties. And like I'm not agreeing with the Karens and Dougs talking about Dairy Queen and Walmart. But at the end of the day, you got to give people a choice. Now I know like here's the
no,
thing. Freedom of
yeah,
speech, for instance, if you say some fucked up shit and get rolled, cause and effect, consequences for your actions. If you're a piece of shit who goes into a supermarket without a mask on, you're getting
Bro,
rolled. Same type of shit. You have to have the choice, and if you're that
it's
dickhead,
fucked up
you're
if you're
gonna get
doing shit like
fucked.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But like,
This plumber Cal
there
went
has to be the
yesterday to
choice.
Mary's
yeah.
house. What a
I
fucking
saw that.
dickwad without a mask. Just, I don't know,
Willy
man.
nilly.
I just
He's
know
on
who
one
he is.
though.
I feel like an asshole because
It's
I
Funny.
sound like, yeah, I know this guy and he's
no,
been,
but he's like a very funny like he's on one. That
he
plumber
already
guy.
doesn't give a fuck,
Yeah.
he's that guy. So I
So
just saw him really
he's that
not give a
dickhead
fuck.
though. Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, don't go to somebody's house, 60 something year old, 50 something year old woman who know
Yeah.
I'd feel bad assuming that too, but
Yeah.
and come on, man. Like this is not the time to fucking
Yeah,
Joe,
but
just
side
fucking
by
wear a
side with
mask
that,
1 minute of your life. Go in there with a fucking
Yeah.
mask. Make people feel not
so
fucking
side
scared
by
for a
side by
second,
side
bro.
with that,
Like
you should be able to turn down his service. You should be like, I'm not paying you. You tried to walk in
absolutely.
here. Like it's such a thing where if you give a state or the federal government that much power and you don't navigate those specific instances like that, whereas like this guy can show up to do his job without a mask.
No,
Sure,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the choice. But
This is a really
I can
interesting.
refuse you service because you're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
So nothing has gotten to the point where it is like you cannot, right? Essentially,
No,
where
because then the motherfuckers with
Well,
AR-15s will actually be right, and I'll have to be
no, it
like,
has. I
yeah,
mean,
but that's
they
what I'm
like
saying. Isn't there a
they
line that's
stopped
already
they
been
stopped
drawn?
businesses from opening, for a while, right? And if you opened, what could happen is that you could get like a fine, and so that was like a lot. That's what that's what was
That's what I was gonna
litigated
get into.
in like Wisconsin and stuff.
I wanted
Yeah,
to ask where
but
the line is, and that's a good.
it's a
I think it's
pun-
an
it's a
interesting
pun- it's a
conversation
punishable
in
it's a
yeah,
general.
punishable
it's
offense. You
oh
get fined. That should be what it is. It should be a
right.
fine,
Right. Yeah,
but it's
and it
still
is
a
a good question of
choice.
like
But
where is
if
the line?
things,
Like
yeah, like
what's where like because we accept that to a certain extent. We accept a lot of like I mean, it's not like we don't let the federal government tell us what to do ever. In fact, we let it tell us what to do
all the
most of the
time, we're
time.
very
Yeah.
used to it
You know?
But
happening
those are
Yeah.
more and
more
more
those are
too.
more
Yeah.
guidelines under the cape of you still have the right under our guidelines to do these things. Once you say you
Yeah.
don't have the right and this is what's happening, that's when it's like, well, that's not right. I
And riots will happen.
yeah.
Bro,
Bro,
I
like
just I don't s- I'm very like I'm always especially having a kid. I've thought very far. Even not having a kid, I'm a stoner, so I've thought I think about all the angles.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
I've thought, what if this gets worse? They're gonna like no matter what, whether you think they're trying to or not, it's gonna get to a point where they'll be like, "Look, guys, it's time to stay inside." There's gonna be cops outside telling you to stay the fuck inside, or you're fucking getting going to jail, or
Yeah, but
we'll
that's
pop you,
martial
bro.
that's
Like,
martial law, dude. That's
don't
not
you
Right.
think?
good.
But
But do you think?
but
I agree.
hold
But do you
on.
think it's
Hold on.
necessary, or don't you think it's
Wait,
necessary at one point? If
but
is
I
it?
just want to say, I just want to cut in here because this is happening already. I mean, we're like acting like it's not happening.
Yeah.
They are right in New York City. That you saw that they were going around to people and saying you got to get inside or you got to wear a mask, you got to socially distance. And in fact, what we saw is also that they did like 100 arrests, and out of the 100 arrests, like 80 of them were all in like the South Bronx or
Of
in like
course,
black
Yeah.
of
neighborhoods, and
course,
whereas all the pictures were of like the West Village and stuff, and like all these people were filling the
white
parks and
kids and
nobody was
shit.
getting
Yeah.
arrested. So the point is, we have, and that's just, I mean, it's happening already, and also we've, in a society sense, we've accepted this police state shit for a while, but
Yeah.
only against certain people, and it's fucked. And it is, and I agree with you, man. It's like, yeah, we have to have certain liberties, and that's like what it is to be American. I think that's probably like, for example, that's probably why we could never do contact tracing, even if we had the infrastructure to do that, because I don't think we would accept like they do in like other countries, like,
Right.
oh,
That's
you have to
already
have a QR
infringing too
code.
far into our
Yeah, you have
liberties.
to sign
Yeah.
in to
So
every business
if
that you
we
go
keep
to,
the
and we'll know. It's like I
if
don't
they
think we'd ever
keep
do
us
that.
locked down, that police state is going to be a steeper slope opposed to
Absolutely.
the slowly declining into a more militarized lack of civil rights. It's going to be the
Mhm.
longer we're locked up, and we're all white dudes. Like, let's be real, we're chilling, man. I can go outside butt naked and nothing but a mask, and I'm cool as the breeze, motherfucker.
Well, we look. I mean, we
But
look white. I
end of the
look. I
day,
thank. I don't know. I don't even. I don't want to say. I was gonna say thank God I look white. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, it's good, true. Yeah,
but end
I
of the
don't
day,
know.
white
it's like
Latino.
it's a steep slope, and it's something where it's like when they want to start tracing, like in China, they want to start tracing people, and that's why you have that free Hong Kong shit because they got the Minority Report face scans for fevers and stuff, which is my phone opens itself with my face scan. I don't know about y'all, but I turn that shit off because I'm like, someone's taking that data. Like
Hmm.
Yeah,
black hole conspiracy theorists, whatever. I don't feel comfortable one having this fucking thing track my location without me knowing.
And check if you
Two,
have a fever,
and
basically.
yeah, and like that's what's gonna
What? That's
happen.
what these things can do. They
look,
can.
Well, that's the
It's
thing.
all it's an app, dude.
It's not some conspiracy theory shit. Like the cops already like ping where people's phones are in order to
Hmm.
make like testimony in court, and so they
Triangulate
use
your
it.
last three text messages
But
to see exactly where you are.
also the other side of it though is, I mean, the police state thing again, we already have it. You know, ICE is like a
And
just the
Snowden,
president's like
Snowden even
brown
showed what
shirt.
that
Hmm.
even the president was
You
doing
know,
some shit, getting our data from
yeah,
cell
NSA like
companies.
like Snowden as a whistleblower revealed the fact that the NSA was dragnet taking all of our data
Hmm.
for everything and just
And
being able to search all of our phones. Like
years
you're
later
not
they're
supposed to be
gonna be like,
allowed.
whoops,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not
sorry.
supposed to be allowed to do
you
that.
it's because it's our phone. So it's like, right, the Fourth Amendment, we have like a right to, you know, to have like, you have to have probable cause to search somebody's
Hmm.
home, for example, right? If the government was like came up and knocking on everybody's door on your block and saying like, hey, like a crime happened in the neighborhood, so we're searching everybody's house, like we would be very clearly see how fucked up that was. Like you can't do that. That's
Yeah.
against the law. That's against the Constitution. That's what they're doing. They're searching everybody's phone, which has all of our data and information, and they don't have any probable cause, which you need to go to like get a warrant, you know, to prove to be able to do that. They're going in and searching all of our homes, our digital homes, and taking all that data and using it to like prove crimes and stuff under the guise of, oh, we need to stop terrorism.
You
So
know
it's
what
kind of
was
like this
sick
thing.
though? The I
Yeah,
forget
what?
what branch of government. Oh, they went to Apple, right? They went to Apple and they're like, "Yo, we need you to unlock this terrorist's phone." And I think it was the FBI went to Apple or somebody, Interpol, and they're like, "We need you to unlock these phones so we can see the terrorist data or whatever inside."
Right.
And they were like, "No, fuck you."
Wow.
Even though these are bad people, if you do that,
We're gonna
you are
start a chain of shit.
it's instant. It's the last wall. You can't do it at all. Otherwise, it's going to happen across the board. Because then those pieces of evidence in a crime or whatever, it's a breach of that civil liberty and private security and all that shit. And like literally, Apple took a huge hit and they tried to take them to federal court. And Apple was like, "We can't do this."
But I don't. I think I just what I have a hard time seeing in the future is how these things aren't gonna become part of our shit, which are already
It's
are.
already
You
yeah, it's
know.
already it's yeah, but that's
So
like it's
how
got to
far
happen
is it?
slowly. Can't be
But that's
quick.
gonna happen. Like, don't you think? Like, am I crazy for thinking if this shit does get
What do
like
you mean?
another? If there's another phase of this shit, don't you think that at one point the fucking executive branch at least is gonna be like, all right, it's time, dude. You guys need some shit. Like, you guys can't do this shit or some shit. Don't you think it would get to that, or is it just would it get to a point where like, okay, you guys get to choose, but we're all fucked? Like, I
I
don't even
think
know if
they'll
it's a thing.
tell us that we'll get
I
to
don't know.
choose while secretly not giving us the choice. You know what I mean?
Kind of feels like that already.
Yeah, that's basically
Yeah.
what's going on now. We're being fed bullshit information. Nobody knows what's actually
I think
happening.
it's interesting how Trump, mm, you know, which I don't know. It's so like we'll see in hindsight, but it's so interesting how he was like, I was expecting as like not a Trump supporter for him to be like he's gonna fucking turn into a tyrant through this whole thing and really just take everybody's shit, everybody's liberties even more so. But he's done so many things where like it seems like he's like, all right, you the states, you guys figure this shit out. Like I'm
Yeah,
letting you guys set your rules, which like I'm hoping I'm right when I say that sounds like a good thing. Like that sounds
yeah.
like, but
I hate that motherfucker.
is it a
Well,
scam? Is
it's
he trying to like play cool cop now, and then he's gonna be
it's
like,
not a very
Well, no.
it's not been a good thing.
One
It hasn't
thing
been
that
a good thing.
I will give him credit for is even sit like I fucking don't like the guy, but end of the day, the expose and just pure roast battle destruction he is raining on like one how dumb media is.
yeah,
How corrupt it
seriously.
is. Bro, we got a fucking worldwide pandemic and like you remember when that clip came out and the lady's like, "We heard somebody called it the Kung flu."
And he
And
made her
he's like,
say it over and
yeah,
over
yeah,
and
he
over.
clowned the shit out of her. He's like, "This is your question?
He's like,
This
say
is
it
your
again.
question about the
What's it
state of the
called?
United States, the Kung flu?" And he's like, "I can't answer that. What a fucking dumb question. Like, why is that person even there asking that question? Who the fuck sent that idiot
That's the whole
in to be
thing.
like,
The
hey,
media,
ask
like
about the Kung flu? Because like, who fucking cares? It's
He
like
was
the
like, the
media
what?
plays right
one.
into like they
Yeah,
say they hate the guy, but they play right into
They
like
it's all
all of
do.
his
it's all
strengths and like
clickbait
make
now.
it like
No
a
one
whole yeah.
asks real shit.
They yeah.
And
Yeah,
And
when
and
he
when
and
they
when
he's
do, it actually is like a momentous when there is like finally an actual question at these
yeah,
elections. Like
like a real question,
really
you're like,
they
oh
just
my
mostly
god.
just wasted time and like do truthfully like all these opinion questions that really don't. They're right. They don't help us and they're kind of like to like build a personal brand for the people who are like asking the question.
what were you
Whereas
gonna
I mean,
say that it
Trump is
isn't
fucked
good
up.
that
Well,
he
it's not
hasn't
good
really
because this is like it's like saying it's like banning. It's the same. It's very similar to banning
like he's
guns in
not
one
being the
state and
president. He's
not
like
banning
just
it in this. No, no, no. I'm just saying the problem is like you can't say like this state does one thing and the one state next to it does nothing, which is what's happening. Like we're all fucked because of that state that doesn't do
Yeah.
anything if this is a real thing. So in many ways he was abdicating like his federal power, like the one time when the federal government should probably act and make a concerted effort to make sure that we can all have the right resources together, that we can all like act in concert to make sure that we attack and defeat this virus. To say like, oh no, every state do it is kind of like saying, all right, whatever happens is going to be on you guys, and I'm
wow.
not going to like take the blame.
See,
But
that's what I'm saying.
truthfully,
Like
it's not.
That's how it
I don't
should
know
be
how to
though.
think about shit, man. I'm
The
just
federal
like,
government shouldn't have to jump in until it is a federal issue in terms of statewide shit. You
but
know what I
then
mean?
don't we start getting
I
into
mean,
this
that's
whole
literally how it
thing about
happens.
him becoming like
Federalism.
too powerful though? At that
Well,
point,
he
like
he he's a
and taking
pawn. The
liberties if
president, no
he's
matter
gonna
what,
tell
is a
us to
pawn.
shut down. At that point,
Well,
he's the one
that's
saying you guys can't go out at a certain time. Then people are like, wait a second, you can't tell me what to do after 10 p.m. What the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
You know
Well,
what I
well,
mean?
that's the whole thing. It's like
The
the federal government is not just the president. I mean, he
if you
is the executive office, but it's also the Congress and the Supreme Court. And
Right.
they
and if you
Congress
listen
also
to
has a responsibility right now. But
the
yeah,
way his writers write shit, they're very good at making sure that he can deflect all blame. Like, and that's why. So you'll hear the word advise a lot. It's advised.
Hmm.
It's like he's kind of leading you into a decision you
He's
make
ready to
yourself.
say it was your fault, right?
Yeah. So
Basically.
basically, if I say, "Yo, George, you can't go out," it's like, "Well, fuck you. I'm gonna go out." But if I say, "Yo, George, I advise you not to go out," it leaves the decision to you, and it's literally just it's a pawn word where it's like a little chink in the armor where it's like he can deflect right. I didn't say don't do it. I said I've been advised to tell you not to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's always a degree of separation from it, and that's like that's how it is now, I guess.
But
We'll see.
isn't that the problem when it comes to like you see all these other countries that were made to actually do shit and it seems like it was a good idea because they got their shit down, you know what I mean? Doesn't that seem like that's why I'm saying
Yeah,
doesn't it seem like because
but
it's such a good idea or whatever, it's shown good results that
yeah, but every
eventually
other
we'd be told
country
what to do, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, but every other country isn't
more
like
so?
us. The reason we're America is because we're an actual, I'm going to quote this, democratic, democracy is what
Right.
so like China, no.
No.
China's
Yeah.
a
Well,
militant
there's
state with like under the
democracies.
gale of
There are a lot of democracies that have like granted more like federal
yeah,
executive control, like central control, but like Germany is a democracy, like
yeah.
and they've done like a lot more, and in fact
Did you see that?
that's like one of the numbers people should look at. They're the by far the most populous country in the region there and have the lowest amount of cases. And
wow.
because they did contact tracing, they already have people going and visiting people in hospitals now because they're like
Yeah.
they have it under control like to that extent. So
Wow.
that's one
But
thing.
in
But you're
terms of
right.
statewide, I think that's where
Yeah,
California is now. Because
Are
like
I
we?
hope so, man.
I think so, man. Because
We're
here's the
doing
thing,
okay? We're doing good like
we're
that?
in terms of the peak of high end cases, viral load, all
We're
that
on the
shit.
down. We're on the
We're
down.
we're one of the lowest. I think
Yeah.
that's
Well,
true.
so we in terms of like per cap, like by population, because the thing is we're gonna have a lot of cases too because
We have a
California
lot of people. Yeah.
is the most populous state, right? It's the no, most populous state. But I mean, if you look at grass, obviously it can go any way, but this projection has us currently at like basically right. You remember the projection graphs, and one of them was like big peak down.
Yeah, big peak down.
Another one was like sort of like never, like we'd stayed low, and then another one was like had like a peak, but then like a long tail.
Yeah,
So our this projection kind of looks like that, like the peak and the long tail. I don't know if you're gonna be
yeah,
able
yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. That's from the website I said earlier. You can't see that, but
Shit.
we'll do some post work and
And there's a little
yeah,
put it
second
over.
hump.
Yeah.
There's that
okay,
second
no,
hump.
so that big hump you see, that's like just the range. That's why you kind of got to see it. But he the middle line, that's his projection, and
Yeah.
like that is like the further along you get, the more like uncertain it is. So it's like the range gets bigger and bigger, and that's why
I'm
it looks
excited
like
to
that.
have beers with y'all and do this in person.
Oh yeah,
Once
for
this
sure.
shit's over, bro.
That would be
So
amazing.
tired of Zoom calls, bro.
Tell me about it. Yeah, dude, this shit's getting hella weird.
Yeah,
I yelled at somebody over a Zoom call the other day. I was like, I didn't think I'd ever get so violent on my computer.
I know. I miss like what like all these things we used to do, like
Cal, you
shoot,
remember boiled peanuts,
point.
bro?
Dude, the
sharing
last that was
joints,
probably like
dude.
George
Oh,
was like
true.
freaking out at home already, and I was like having boiled peanuts at this
Yeah,
point.
me,
So
me and
Yes.
me and him are like
yeah,
10 beers deep, spitting peanuts into
imagine.
each other's mouth,
I
holding
remember saying
hands and
you were
shit.
hanging out this weekend. You said you weren't gonna go out. You went
Yeah, you
out.
went out with Ozzy.
It's
Yeah.
true. He was right. And like
And
that
that
guy
was
might as
and
well
that
like grabbed a
happened when
handful of peanuts and put it in front of us.
Yeah, yeah. It's all Cal's
but
fault
this
though.
all
This guy's a
started.
foodie.
That's right when I had seen the Joe. Right when I saw that Joe Rogan interview, it was over. I
I
shat my
know, but
pants that night.
if you have that like it's in your head. If you incept, you're like Inception. If that one seed gets in there, that's growing to a fucking conspiracy tree. Because I was like, no, it's not gonna be bad. And George is like, bro, I'm wiping my ass with Windex, bro. Fuck you. Fuck this shit. You know what I mean? I was like, oh. I was like, and I'm texting Cal on the side in our group chat. I'm like, yo, he's really deep in this shit.
No,
And
but yeah,
here
man,
we
I
are,
remember you helping out.
72 days later on a
George
Shit.
was
fucking
just
Zoom call,
George is
bro.
just the prophet. He was just
He
John the
called it.
No,
Baptist, you know,
the
in the
Yeah.
funniest thing
wilderness.
is, it almost went. If I was like that, the dad that's in charge of the family, like,
You
thank God
are.
I'm not. No, thank God I'm not, because Vicky woke up and just. So that night, I start planning. I'm even gonna like, we're gonna rent a fucking RV. Like, I don't even.
Uh-huh.
I was looking at prices of RVs, and
Oh
we're gonna
shit.
go drive to the desert or to Miami, which both are the same thing. Either,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Whatever.
the
So I'm
middle of
gonna go to
nowhere or
3 hours
Miami, Florida.
away or fucking 48 hours away, whatever,
Yeah,
right? And my parents, I gotta wait 2 weeks for them to quarantine, so I'll just park in front of their house and we'll live in the car for like 2 weeks or some shit.
That's a smart idea.
Bro, I was like, I had this planned out that night. I'm like, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna stop at gas stations, and that's it. And and then the next day, I stayed up almost all night, and I like when Vicky wakes up, she's like, "You're still up?" I'm like, "Look, I gotta tell you, I saw this thing last night. We're getting out of here. We're out. All right." Like I tried to be that dad
Yeah.
for a minute, and then she literally like within 30 seconds was like, "We're gonna hang a fucking bed sheet up where the fucking kitchen divides into the living room.
Yeah.
Cal's gonna stay on that side, and we're gonna stay on this side, and we're gonna buy a fucking refrigerator." And I was like, "That sounds cool. We can have a fucking." And then, and that was it. We
Yeah,
stay,
that's it.
and until we're like, and then we basically told Cal, "Hey, until you have 14 days that you haven't," because he was already planning on being home
Yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah.
He
yeah.
he was already
It turned
talking
out
like,
like a week
not gonna
later,
work.
but like
Yeah, it was
yeah,
less. It was a little less actually. It was a few
Because
days
it was like I think it was the 15th when we were at Crawford's with the boiled peanuts. Because it was the
of March.
no, it wasn't
17th.
that late because
It
I
wasn't that
remember
late.
that it was daylight savings. That Sunday was the first day that I went into quarantine.
That's
So
so
whenever that
crazy.
day that
Whatever
was,
weekend
yeah,
before the
I think it's
St.
the 8th
Patty's
almost.
Day. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was. I think you're. Yeah.
hmm So yeah,
And that
and then
was
we
it's so
and then we
funny how
went in.
people talked. People I heard people that day like, "What are we not gonna go to the bar for fucking St. Patty's Day? You
Bro,
crazy?"
I was one of those people, bro. I missed
Yeah, you should have
shots. Dude, I
Philly
And I
missed
was
dirt
already
bag.
like,
shots.
I was telling, and I was the guy like, "Get ready, motherfuckers!" They didn't even nobody knew. I was like, "Yo, you
Yeah.
guys don't see it, but I see it."
Bro, I'm telling you right now, once this shit's done,
He's
we're
gonna
all
be
going to the bar. No,
do
here's the thing,
shots
dude.
of a bottle of
I'm
Rumplemans or whatever
telling
the
you
hell
right now,
drink there is.
I don't even really like to take shots, you know? I don't. But what I
Me neither.
miss is the camaraderie
Oh
of
yeah,
that heavy glass where it's like, my boys, like the
we
last dude
did it.
shows up
We're
in the
doing
group,
it.
we're doing shots. Fucking pour it
Uh-huh.
up. And you do it, you slam it down. Some person dry heaves a little bit because they suck at taking shots. But it's like just that little bit of just human camaraderie in like the
Yeah.
littlest thing. I'm like, I fucking miss that. I
Mhm.
started running at Echo Park, and that's when I wear my my actual dusk mask and the mask because it's like I don't trust none of these motherfuckers in Echo Park, you know.
No.
But I'm running around it quick. I'm only there for about 15 minutes tops, and it's like it's
See,
just
that's what
nice.
I think. What I'm
It's
thinking is
nice
more along
to
the
be
lines
around
of like
people.
where I'm running if somebody else was there type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways.
No, I mean you're right, but at the same time, I got my hand sanitizer in the whip. You know, I do like the Lysol shower now. You know, it
Nice.
used to
Really?
be Axe body spray, dude. I remember I have right here this disinfectant wipes, and when it was like really like so we were all gonna get it and die, I would go out and I would wipe my whole face and hands down with these disinfectant wipes.
Shit.
And I told my ex and my sister at the time, and they're like, "What are you fucking doing? Those are chemicals, bro." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. My skin's better than it's ever been. You know, I'm basically chemically peeling the top layer of my skin off."
Oh
Yo,
god.
my hands have been going through
Exfoliating.
it. My hands are
Yeah,
like
I
this new. They have this new skin to it. Like they're so
Yeah,
durable now. They're so dry all the
bro,
time. It's
you
bizarre.
gotta get that Neutrogena Hydro Burst.
yeah, I need a new
Future
hand lotion.
sponsor saying it fucking now. That
Hey,
shit's like
we're
just
with it.
maple syrup, dog. Just cover
Well,
your shit.
I like bleach burned this hand, and now it's like
Yeah.
flaking and shit. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
know
I had a
what the
little bit
heck's
of
going
bleach
on.
burn the other day. I told Cal I didn't. So I handled it acting like I'm such a horrible fucking dad. These are things that dads should know. That bleach
Nah,
burns your skin. I was like, so I
You
just clean
learn.
shit with this, right? It's like water with some pool chlorine, basically,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
yeah, I
Don't
wake
mix
up
it
like
with any other cleaner.
an hour later. I wake up and my hands are like they turned into like tree bark, like, and they were burnt. They were like itching, and I was like, I
What
turned the
the
light
fuck's
on.
happening?
My eyes were stinging because I don't touch my
You,
face anymore. So I
you
got
were
all fair
rubbing
and
it
I
up. Yeah.
no. I think but that's what I'm saying. I thought I had bleached my fucking eyes, dude.
Oh shit.
And I ate an edible that day, so I was like, I was certain that I had to go risk COVID to go to the hospital. I was like, damn, I
Oh.
gotta go to the fucking hospital at the worst time now. This is
Yeah,
horrible. I'm
bro.
burning
My
myself.
my buddy Matt Getz, right? He's my like brother from home. He has a pinched nerve in his neck to the point where his hands are numb. So he has to go to physical therapy. And he's like, bro, this is the worst. He's in Chicago. And like Chicago is kind of half New York, half LA,
And he has
spread
to go to
out.
the hospital or his
He's got to
doctor.
go. No, he's got to go to this physical therapy place, but it's like a long, slow process, and it's giving him anxiety to where it's like he doesn't want to talk to anyone because it's so
Shit,
just
man.
exhausting to be in a situation where it's like I have to slowly rehab my fucking pinched nerve in a heightened environment of like this is the last place I want to be.
Shit.
Mhm.
And I'm like, bro, I've been trying to text him, and finally he was just like, bro, fuck off. Let me get through this,
He's
and
like,
like
I
I'll
don't
get
even want
back
to
to you.
deal with
Yeah, he's
anybody.
like, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to get
Yeah.
fucking through it. And I'm like, dude,
That's how my cousin. I feel like she hasn't said anything, but I'm pretty sure. Like I barely get she barely replies or picks up, and she's a nurse at the hospital. So, and then we were like, I saw the other day we're in like a family thing for my mom's birthday, and
yeah,
just the cousins and the aunts, and like they talked about they're like, hey, how's it in that? How fucking crazy is it over there? Within 2 minutes, gone. She was gone. And I was
yeah.
like, y'all didn't even know. You guys are they didn't even notice. I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. Stop the
Well,
bullshit. She doesn't
dude,
want to
one,
hear this shit. She
yeah,
doesn't
she
want
didn't
to
want to
talk
hear it.
about it.
Yeah.
So she like,
Yeah.
I understand if she doesn't want to
But
like pick up to for me being, hey, how you doing? How's I get it.
that's also classic Latin family. Like,
Yeah,
don't give a
like
shit.
we don't want to talk about this shit.
Like they're gonna like no, they're just gonna like nail you for the thing
They're
that you
like, we know
least
you
like.
hate it, but you got to talk about it.
Exactly.
What's the
Yeah,
deal?
yeah.
The most
They're like, we
annoying
don't give a
thing that
shit
they
if you're
could do to
busy
you.
saving lives. Tell us what the fuck's going on. You know.
So have you
Yeah,
almost
that's
died or
like-
not? What's up?
Mm.
Yeah, like what's the deal? Are you eating like a lot now, Cal? Is that the thing you're doing? Like, I get
Exactly.
that a lot. Yeah. Anyway, you know how it is. You know how it is. I miss all
Sure.
the
What?
things we used to be able to do together, guys, like share joints, like share boiled
Yeah, right.
peanuts,
We went to a
get that
garden,
UT.
bro. We went to a nice little family day out at that garden place.
Yeah, the
Holding
garden. I never go to
hands,
the garden
running
right
through
now.
fucking
Yeah, with
herb
my
gardens
parents.
and shit. Yeah, with your
Uh-huh.
parents.
Wait,
Yep,
what?
yep.
Where was this?
We went to Huntington Gardens, me and
Oh,
Holly went together.
nice.
Just
Yeah,
the
man.
two of us,
Sick.
actually.
That's a Pokemon Go power spot, dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
Power spot.
Vicky's been
Catching,
wanting to go real bad. Vicky
bro. That
came
place
out.
is dope. Yeah,
Apparently, you
can't.
need like a
dope.
membership to be able to go anytime or whatever specific
Yeah.
specific
that makes
days.
sense. Damn.
But yeah,
Well, that's
we
fucked.
ain't going now. Fucking.
It ain't happening. Yeah. I miss that. I miss the circle jerks with the 18-second video, you know. We all used to do shit together and
That
jerk
ca-
off and
that
smoke
that
cracker.
AOL chat room
I was like, oh,
Karen.
you guys were hanging out. I was like, I got left out of that one for what happened?
We can't man, things are never gonna go back to normal, you know.
Now I want a
Bro, it's
Corona
gonna
real bad.
it's gonna be weird, like bars, right? When they do reopen, it's I'm not looking forward to going to a bar, but I'm looking forward to going to a fucking bar. I'm the
Hell
dude who
yeah.
I'm the dude who
I get
used
you.
to
Yeah.
I'm the dude who used to show up at like 8 and I'm out the door by 9 because I don't want to be part of that big bar crowd, you know? But now it's like I'm not leaving till you
You're
drag me the
kicking it. You're
fuck
kicking
out,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
3:13 a.m. You're dragging my drunk ass out, you know? I can't
Yeah,
wait.
I wanna get some dive bar action.
Oh,
I'm trying to
dude.
get like go to HMS Bounty or some shit and
Si-
get the
Those are
single boy,
liquor
great
and a
si-
spots.
shot.
single boy season 2020, bro.
Yeah,
You guys are
exactly.
gonna
I'm
go.
getting
You
ready.
Yeah.
It's hard body season right now.
Dude, I've
get
been
ready.
working
It's gonna
out
be hot
more than
boy
I've ever
summer.
worked out in my life, bro.
This guy too. This guy's going
That's
in,
right,
man.
ladies. We've been working out
Yep.
more than we've ever worked out.
I'm not,
Yeah, I think
honestly,
that
I'm not even like dating. I'm just going out to like have fun. I can't remember the last time where I was just like go have fun with your boys,
Shit, man.
Without
I've
We
like,
been
I,
trying
Cal's getting
like an
ready.
idiot.
My daughter,
But I've also
we take my
yeah.
daughter up to go to sleep at night, like around the time that you're doing your thing, working out. And I noticed Cal left the door cracked open yesterday. He's like gauging off of Charlie's react, like, "Hey, what's up, Charlie? How you doing?"
he's
Charlie's like,
testing out how swole he is.
Cal's like, "Oh,
Sup, Charlie?
just
Trying to see
seeing
how
if it's
frightened
working,
she
seeing
is.
if."
Sup,
Until she
Charlie?
cowers in fear.
Yeah.
Charlie's like 15 months old. I'm like,
Does
huh?
she-
Yeah.
Hey! And she's like,
What's up, Charlie?
laughing.
Cal is the only till yesterday I got one for the first time in I think forever, dude, in weeks. But Cal is the only one that gets kisses blown to him from my little daughter. Dude, my daughter's in this phase with me specifically that she's like suck dicks like all day, dude. Mom only, mom. Anything
Yeah.
I do, I'm like, I kind of like I'm like that annoying friend that's like,
Yeah.
come on. Are you gonna? What's up? You want to hang? Like, and she's like, shut the fuck up. I'm watching
like,
Moana, like my 80th
Yeah.
time. Leave me alone. I'm really studying this shit. It's horrible. It's like
She treats you like she's like 13 already. Like,
Bro, that'll happen though, man. That's
Moana.
mom
bound to
walks
happen.
out for a second and she's like, mom. She's like, why the fuck you leave me with this asshole? I'm like, it feels like that. I feel like I'm like, there's
Just
nothing
getting
I can
emotionally
do.
abused by your child.
This
Yeah.
whole daddy's princess thing
well,
is a myth,
I
guys.
did read. I
Yeah,
did
that's
read that
bullshit,
like
bro.
No,
around
apparently it's a
15
phase.
months.
Nah,
Yeah,
yeah,
separation anxiety.
it will be. It will
Yeah.
be.
It's supposed to be a phase. I hope so. Oh, shit.
Yo, but at the
Yeah,
end
it's
of the
like very.
day, when you scream, like we all know our dads, right? Our dad has that one anger tone where it's like, oh shit, you got to fucking lock down and really think of an excuse about you get your ass
No,
whooped.
that's real.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
like it's
the
worse
only thing
for
you could say.
it's worse for daughters because my sister and I talk about how my dad, like, he's super nice, right? But he's got this tone. I'm like, Seb, like I hear it, like a low fucking like it's almost like a whale noise underwater.
When they fucked up, it was like,
Yeah, it's like Haley, and it's way worse. She's like, oh, I'm dead, and I'm like, you're dead, dude. Sorry, see ya,
damn.
R.I.P. But that's like specifically a dad power with like no matter what the gender of the kid is, like it'll get to the point where if she's ever out of line, right? She's a little bit older, obviously. She's fucking with you now.
It's
'cause
starting to happen. It's
yeah,
starting to happen.
but you'll be like, you'll just say her name like in that tone, and she'll tighten up, get tight, because it's coming. You're about
It's
to get
kind of
fucked
already
on.
there. I say no. When I say no, it's like, and it's not just because there's so many no's all day because she's like figuring shit out still. So
Yeah,
it's no for a lot of things. Unfortunately, I feel like an asshole all day. But when she's like earlier, she tried to grab all the Corona bottles that are like next to the trash.
yeah,
She started grabbing them, and I was like, no! Like I said it with that like
yeah.
not thinking kind of little yell type thing. And she does it there every once in a while. It's like I exist finally, and
Yeah.
and I feel like I have this superpower. But she'll look at me and she goes, "No,
No, please,
no."
no.
You can
No,
tell she's
sir.
like, you're
No,
right.
yeah, you're
You're
right. I'm at.
Nope.
Yeah.
But then she's fucking like, she'll wait a second, and then she'll be like,
It's like, oh fuck you.
Like,
He's
what
like,
are
oh
you
fuck you,
doing,
bro.
dude?
Yeah.
You just acted
But
like you fucking gave a shit, and
Yeah.
then you
she
playing with
does
my
this dope thing.
emotions, dude.
This dope
Yeah.
thing she does right now where she closes her eyes and walks around. Like it's like she's playing Marco Polo. She like closes her eyes and really walks to try to like run into like you or Vicky, right?
Yeah, she
It's
walks
like
towards
really fun to
us.
see.
She tries to
Yeah.
do it with her eyes closed, and sometimes, a lot of times, she's peeking. You can see her doing her little peek
Yeah.
and like making sure. But dude, clearly sometimes she's like, "All right, I got this,"
Dunk.
and she'll bonk
Yeah.
into shit. She'll like trip on something, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me? What are you doing?"
It's hilarious. She's like
Yeah, but
it's
you
like
know
a
what? Tail end of this is something that you're gonna look back and love. The fact that you had those moments of like these baby years during quarantine. You know,
Bro, I've
like it's
already
gonna.
thought about it. She's gonna talk about it like, "Oh, I was a kid when that shit happened." You know, like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
like,
thing for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, 100%,
You're
dude.
going to be like, you have no idea.
I'm gonna be like, you know why you're so white? I'll tell you exactly.
You didn't see sun
You
for
have
about
very
383 days of your
Not
baby
not only is
life.
your mom like porcelain white, but no, mom is like super white too. But yeah, I feel bad, bro. I feel it's so bad every day. There's certain times a day that I'm like, I'll wait later because bro, I'm so paranoid. I hate it. Like people that walk in front of our house, that's how paranoid I am. I'm like, oh, I'll
You get
wait
a,
for the crowd to chill because you know what they say. It can stay in the air for 3 hours, and the air is a
yeah,
pretty big place. Like the air is huge. It's
bro. But
everywhere.
that's but so unless you're out there like fucking gasping for air
Right.
like a catfish, like you can just walk through it. It'll like brush
and I
off
don't
you.
know like how things aerolize, but the only thing I know is that like I just heard you say like earlier say that, and I remember reading that, but I read it in relation to like dentist equipment and why
I
they
was gonna
make
say
like
it wasn't in relation to
yeah.
people saying it about COVID, but I mean this one guy was saying about the possibility of it being with COVID, but most people have said it where I heard it was people talking about some other viruses, not this one.
Uh,
But
and so like that
but they
I'm
said
pointing
it
out like
like all viruses are like this. So this one potentially is an aerosol based,
yeah.
airborne, whatever. But I did see something actually, Halsey. You're kind of right, or you're pretty much right. I saw some like scientific breakdown of how it works when these molecules are around
Yeah,
us,
when
and the
they like
way our
enter the body.
or like how they dodge it, or how
Yeah.
if we're walking on our own path, essentially, one of the things that like save us is the fact that we're like creating our own airstream,
hmm
and like these
I can
other
see
things
that.
that come in
Yeah.
our way,
it's like
they
the
avoid
surface of
us.
water tension. It's like basically you're
Yeah,
walking. It's air tension. Like you have no matter what. It's like you know it goes around you.
the chances of it dodging you are I'm pretty sure what I read was that you have a better chance of not catching it if you're not around it a lot. You know, obviously.
My thing is
You gotta
gas pumps, bro. I literally forgot what world we were in the other day, and I pumped my car full of gas, and then
No
I
way,
was
you
like
forgot,
I was sitting in my car like this with my hand on my
and you
face,
said,
and then I
"What?"
was just like I was like, you've betrayed me. Like I
Oh my
fucking
god, I would
forgot.
have,
Like I
I
just
would have
touched the
shat
bro.
myself.
I was so pissed. I was like, you fucking betrayed me. Like
You
I
see
was
what happens to
tired.
me in those situations? Ask Cal.
Cut your hand off,
There was a
bro.
time. There was a time when at the beginning of this shit that I was like, "All right, great. For the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna ponder if I have coronavirus or not." I
yeah.
gotta wait for 2 weeks now. Every time some shit like, what was it that happened? Oh yeah, the first time we got groceries dropped off, I was like, this bitch definitely
I need
just
to go
gave my
somewhere.
whole house coronavirus because
Yeah, yeah.
she was just hanging out in front of my house. And I was like, and that day I was like, I took like notice of what day it was, and I was like, all right, 2 days from here, I'll feel comfortable again. Like
Yeah.
I'm such and man, such a horrible,
We're deep in
not
it.
the
This
thing
is
to do,
deep.
bro.
Well,
Not the
bro,
thing to do.
Yeah.
Not the way to think, bro.
you stay so on Pluto high. That cannot help with the paranoia.
Not for a long
There's no
time though.
way,
Actually,
bro. I
yeah.
listened to your last song, motherfucker. The name
No,
of it's
no.
Too Stoned, bro.
No,
Like,
ask Cal. There was actually like a chunk of the first like when we got into quarantine, I had just started like chilling out with smoking, and
yeah,
I actually got
there it
sick at the
is. Yeah,
beginning.
plug
Yeah,
that
there
shit
it
real
is.
quick. Let's
Hell
get a little
yeah!
plug.
Shout
Dun,
out to
dun.
Slightly
Actually,
Stupid.
George, I've been meaning to
True.
say like I never I haven't even bought one yet.
No,
I
that's
want to buy
yours.
this
You're
one right
crazy.
now.
Shut the fuck up.
This is
You're
yeah, no, you know. This
Come
is
on, man.
They
That
can
is
steal it, bro.
yours. That is yours. When the other, actually, it's funny. The other day, you're like, "Can I go show these guys this?" You were saying this on the Zoom. I'm like, "Go show them." And then when you went up, I was like, "Oh, I haven't even given you
Yeah.
one." You're like, "Come on, man. Shut the fuck
no,
up."
I just no, but for real. Yeah. Anyway,
You got to
so
release
we
that shit on
like
floppy disk,
they're
bro.
all over the house right now. So you got a floppy disk.
Shit, hold
Dude,
up.
I was gonna say I used a lot of floppy disks late into the floppy disk world because I had an MPC and I was using the floppy disks to like
Yeah,
save samples.
there you
and
go.
shit,
Shout
you know
out
what
to
I
the
mean?
floppy disk.
So yeah, and shout out to Jurassic learning the MPC XL right now. He's got it.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Hell
he's
yeah.
doing his shit. Guys,
What was
we've
it?
been on it for a little while,
An hour and a half.
and
Yeah, let's call it.
yeah,
Let's call it episode
but
one. Call it.
but wait, hold on. We should do a song of the day.
Wait, we
Okay.
didn't do the. We were gonna do the circle jerk hour, weren't we? Weren't we?
Oh yeah,
We
the
got
next
yeah.
hour.
This is episode one. We got a lot of time. We got a lot of time to
For
really
the Twitch
dial this
stream.
in.
When we start
yeah.
the Twitch stream, that's what it's all
No,
about.
that's the Patreon like $20 bracket.
Yeah. That's the OnlyFans, bro. We out here at
No, but real
OnlyFans
quick,
2020.
let's get a song. Let's get a song from everybody.
Song of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had one in mind actually, guys. I don't know if.
Oh snap! Then you
But
I
what
think
do
I-
we?
go
We're,
first.
so we each have one. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I don't have one in mind, but by the time you're done, I will.
A classic, right?
I got one.
But it could be whatever you're thinking of.
What's yours,
know?
Halsey? I had one in mind from
Yeah.
before, but I want to hear
One
where
of
where
Us
we're
is
going
the
with this.
Killer by Dillinger Escape Plan. Go
Shit.
listen to that,
What
bro.
the
That
fuck?
okay? So I don't
Yeah.
really know them
Tell us
well,
about
but
it.
last night I was with Brett. We were having our little weekly boy time, slugging some
This is some
brews.
hardcore shit, right? Some hard rock.
No. Usually they're like, if you were to take like cafeteria lasagna and smash it, that's what they're usually like.
That's what
This
I
is-
heard. Yeah.
This is like a really beautifully crafted song, and they released it solely so that they could be like, fuck y'all, we can release whatever we want at any time.
Wow.
And it fucking goes, dude. It goes. Listen to it. One of Us is the Killer by the Dillinger Escape Plan. Metal
Okay.
2013. Everyone put it in your phones, and then next time,
I'm
next
actually-
episode, we'll start with listening to each other's songs.
Hell yeah. There you go.
This is epic.
That's
This is
actually a
epic.
pretty good idea.
What's the name of it again?
One of Us is the Killer
All
by the
right.
Dillinger Escape Plan.
So I thought we were gonna bring up our favorite classics, but I like this a lot better. I like.
Yeah, because then we could do it each week. We can all have a different
Yeah.
song to kind of go listen to and then talk about on the next one. Kind of keep it
Bro.
moving,
I'm with it, and it could be classic too. Maybe you're jamming some classic or something like that.
Well,
Yeah.
I have one to in that vein, in that sense, like something just epic to listen to. If it's, I mean, I guess not in that vein, not that specific, but this is
Well,
something
because
that.
once we plug this, say like we get this done and it's edited or whatever, perfected or however we want to release it, video and audio same time, it'll give whatever people that are listening to it all 3 songs to go listen to.
Edit? What do you mean edit? We're not editing.
No, that's
This is
fine.
all it. I'm kidding.
All right, yeah. Well, no. So I have NVIDIA recording everything right now, so I can just send it. I'll email it to
Sick.
Cal,
Sick.
and it's recording this screen, all 3 of us, the whole time.
I can't wait. I can't wait to
haven't-
see this.
I haven't minimized anything either, so it's like just us the whole time. This is gonna be cool,
Well-
man. Plus, this is dipping the toe in. This is the dry run.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm with it.
with something in that sense that if we're gonna be trading songs for us to really go and listen to and fucking be able to dive into something new like that, I love. There's something that I've always loved. It's a whole album, but I wanted to specifically talk about the intro.
Do it up.
It's "The Loused in the Comatorium" by Mars Volta. I don't know if you guys.
Woo! Yeah, I know though.
The first
I
two
know
tracks,
Mars Volta, but-
it's basically 2 tracks because it's the beginning of the album. But
Intro
it's
and what?
Son et Lumière and it's Intertiac Esp. I had to look up the names because they're so fucking crazy with the names. on
Yeah,
this one.
bro. What the fuck?
Son
Okay.
et Lumière and
Son et
Inertiatic
Lumière.
ESP. Inertiatic ESP. Inertiatic ESP.
This guy can't.
That's definitely not French or
Asiatic?
anything. Inertiatic. I don't know.
Son et Lumière by.
It's an
Inertiatic.
amazing. Just
got
the
that
intro
one.
is amazing. Altogether, it's like 5 minutes or 6 minutes, 5.5 minutes, 6 minutes, some shit like that. But those 2 tracks together, man, dude, that shit could get you hyped for anything. You could do anything.
Okay, so what was the second one by Mars Volta?
When you need to go take your trip out into the world, like for the groceries during this Corona shit, listen to this shit to get you pumped to
To
fight
get out
that
there.
fucking to do your fucking your Tom Hanks and shit to pull up the Tom Hanks powers. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
All right,
So
so
it's the
I
first
started
two
I
songs from
started a
Michael.
notes app, and I'll just do George's song, Cal's song, and I'll send it out.
Yeah.
We'll do it
Sick.
every
Word.
week.
So is it my turn?
Yep.
Is it my turn? So my song, I don't know why people were tweeting about like Big L today. I think
Oh shit.
somebody's working on like a documentary or some shit like that. And so
Big
I was jamming
L,
some stuff.
dude.
So like we used to do this remix of Put It On, which is a dope track. But I'm gonna say my favorite Big L verse is from a Lord Finesse song. It's the remix to Yes You May. And I promise you, like Big L comes like as a very young Big L, and he like murders this track in
He
like a
just comes in
very
and
cool
just
OST.
decimates
I know the whole
everything.
verse, like I can
Ooh.
spit it, but it's like
Uh
Tell
oh.
one of
you,
those type of verses.
Cal spits it all the time. Actually,
Uh oh. Uh oh.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might
word,
not
I think
need. I
like
might
Did you
not
hear the
need
nerd
that
come out? He
AOL
goes,
chat
he
word.
said, he goes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I can spit. Yeah.
hell
Fucking.
yeah.
it's like everywhere that I go, brothers know my fucking name. I'm Florin Brothers, and I only weigh a buck and change. I gave a lot of black guys in my extorting days fucking with me. A lot of brothers be sporting shades. He's like the craziest. Like if you just listen
Oh
to
shit.
every line, he's like dropping some
That
incredible
guy
like
had
punch.
such
Yeah.
an amazing
Yeah,
flow for his
rest in
time.
peace.
He was so ahead
So
of his
Yeah.
shit.
Anyway,
remix
there
to
you go.
Yesy May is the name of it.
Yeah, it's Lord Finesse is the artist who was like another dope rapper from that time period who like put on Big L and also like DITC digging in the crates and shit like that. Anyway, but yeah,
Got it.
the remix of that song. The original I think's got Percy P on it actually.
Whoa.
Some shit like that.
All right, I got both of them.
Don't quote me on it.
All right, well, dudes, hour 30, clean
Yeah.
hour 30.
Clean.
Yeah, a
I
little
think
round,
so. Tight
little
hour
golf.
30.
Yeah, bro, that's a taut. That shit is strung up taut, brother.
I'm pretty sure it's mad delicious, actually.
Yes, there you go. We'll end
Oh,
on
yeah.
that. Same time next week, fellas.
Sounds good. I got enough weed. I think we're good.
Bro, you've had food. You've had food there the whole time and are now
Oh
eating it.
wow, what a G, dude.
What a
That's how much
fucking
starving.
freak! Oh my god. You
savage.
sat next to cold food for an
Savage.
hour and a
It's
half,
delicious.
dog.
He's
All
been
right.
watching me eat too many Vienna sausages. He's
Yo.
numbed out to the whole thing.
I've been on a sausage kick too, bro. I get these Italian hot boys. I
Oh
cook
no,
like
no, Vienna sausages.
Oh,
nigga.
okay.
Like the ones that come in the tin, the mini weenies. It's
Ew!
gross.
Y'all are disgusting.
Not
You
mad.
gotta serve
Alright.
it with the water. You gotta have it in the bowl with the water with it still as you
Yeah.
eat it. Anyways,
That's the seasoning.
All right, boys. Love
Peace
y'all.
out.
Mad delicious. Same time next week. Mad delicious. Bye
Let's get
bye.
it. Stay up.